So what we're going to start off with is identifying your dog. And there are a couple of points here that I'd like everyone to be cognizant of as we start this journey together. So the first one is, what is your dog's personality type? And it's funny because you probably haven't heard too much about dogs' personality types. We hear it about people all the time. We love taking personality quizzes. It's been my little side job here to try to put together something that helps people understand what personality type does their dog actually have and how can you understand it. What can you observe in your dog that suggests, hey, they might lean more on this side of the spectrum or the other? So we've developed this quadrant and 4 different spaces that'll help you identify not only your dog's personality or natural disposition, but also possible behavioral challenges that you may encounter seeing that your dog lies in each one of these spaces. So the difference in the personality matrix, or the 2 accesses, one side is going to be about energy and the other is going to be around the dog being more timid or forthcoming. So it's very simple. It's just, and then there's the overlay of reactivity. So we will go into all of that later on, but that is a first step for you to kind of recognize, okay, what kind of animal is my animal through these inherent characteristics. The second thing that I think everyone should do their research on and also be very aware of is breed, right? Dogs were bred for specific purposes and specific reasons. And you're gonna see a lot of content out there that is conflicting, that says, no, it doesn't matter in this day and age. You can bring this type of dog home and you can raise them to be whatever it is you want them to be. And then there's the flip side of, okay, this breed is this breed and that's it. You're gonna see throughout our training together, everything is a balance, right? There's no extremes here. Everything kind of just has this middle ground. But it's important to understand your breed because kind of in line with the personality matrix, there's gonna be some inherent characteristics that that dog has based on their breed. You know, if you have a working dog and you bring that type of animal into your home, understand that they were bred to work, to be both mentally and physically stimulated. So it is your responsibility as their caretaker, nurturer, provider, to give them fulfilling experiences that, activate what they were made for, that help them to release that energy and lead fulfilling lives. Because, again, based on breed, this is what they were designed for. The third point I'd like everyone to be aware of is nature versus nurture. And this goes a little bit into what I was saying before about, the extremes of some people are proponents that, hey, breed dictates everything. The dog's biology says it all. And then other people who say, you raise the dog to be whatever it is you want them to be. It is going to be a balance. We cannot ignore the nature, the biology, the primitive instincts that your dog comes with. But you will have a huge impact on their development. And it's important that when we think about nature versus nurture, we do our research and our due diligence to understand the nature side. And then on the flip side, create positive environments and experiences that allow our dogs to thrive. The last point that I'd like everyone to be aware of is socialization. And I think this is a nice jump off point from the nurture side of things. So it's the experiences that you set up for your animals. It's ongoing. Now, we're gonna discuss puppies in general during this series, but we're gonna do a whole puppy program. And one thing I'll throw out here, which you'll probably hear again and again from me, is that the critical socialization period. So this is a window where it's very important to try to give your dog as many new experiences as possible with calm reinforcement. That is a narrow window, and it's actually from about 4 to 16 weeks of age. So understand that at 4 months, your puppy's already exiting that critical socialization period. Now, that doesn't mean they don't continue to be socialized throughout their lives. It doesn't mean that you can't have an impact on them to produce real behavior modification if you need to later on. It just means that it gets harder, just like us. As we get older, it's harder for us to learn new things. It's harder for us to adapt. I mean, see it myself with age, like I just get more stubborn the older I get. Happens to a lot of people. With our dogs too, it's just harder for them to accept new experiences. And we have to understand that animals by nature are primed to protect themselves, to be alert, to be on guard. So it's a little bit of a different lifestyle than we're used to. We've gotten, used to a cozier lifestyle where we're not on high alert for our lives at all times. But dogs are primed for this. So early on, we want to set the stage for them to see that everything going on around them, especially if you live in a more urban area, and there's going to be a lot of triggers in an urban area, everything going on is just a natural part of the environment. You can ignore it. You don't have to be concerned, you're good. And we do that through, as I said, the calm and positive reinforcement.